And welcome back to Tech Tuesday. I'm Steve Leahy. Okay, so this one is near and dear to my heart. If you haven't felt this, you are lucky. I go through this quite a bit. I've just learned to control it a little bit better. So this is the point in your painting where you feel that it just looks like garbage, like rolled crap. It happens usually to me about a third of the way into the painting, anywhere between a third to a halfway through the painting. And it's not necessarily that things are going wrong. It's just that the process takes on certain steps that make it not look pretty as you're moving through it. And it used to sidetrack me a lot. Like there are instances in the beginning where I would just completely restart a painting because I thought it was going completely sideways. I think with experience, I realized that one, things aren't usually as bad as you think they are. And two, if something is going sideways, usually you can fix it. So I didn't really have the chops when I was younger to do that. So a lot of times the painting would end up in the trash and I'd start it over. Well, I'm going to show you a few paintings. Some of them are recent, some of them are not. But this will give you a good idea of those moments when I can specifically remember feeling like, what's going on? This thing looks like garbage. So the first painting I chose is 19 Seconds. 19 Seconds is a fairly simple painting. It just has a old 1980s phone on a desk, just kind of sitting there as if the call that was being done at that time was just kind of interrupted. It has a lot of meaning to me, and I really wanted to get this right. However, the simplicity of it kind of threw me off in the beginning. I knew that I wanted to really show the detail in this teak desk that the phone is sitting on. But if you know teak, it's a very yellowy, orangey type of wood. And as I started basing this out, I was like, what is going on here? It's like completely yellow. And even though that's really what I saw, to start that way and to really kind of base in the painting that way and have it going those real hard yellow oranges, I'm like, there's no way this is bouncing back from this. This isn't the way it's supposed to go. But I stuck with it. You see at the bottom of that, I'm starting to figure out how the grain works between the little loop of the phone and the receiver. And then I just kind of took a deep breath and just kind of stuck with it. And that really started to kind of pull it together. So in this next photo, you can see the grain has really come together. And as soon as I had the grain on there, and it really started to kind of not only mute that yellow, but really play off of that yellow that was under there, it really gave me a big sense of relief. So that was just a matter of sticking with it and kind of trusting the process. And here is the finished view of this painting and how it finally did come out. It's interesting because the phone on this was the easiest part. When I got done with the desk, I was just thrilled. The rest of it was easy, but it had its moments. It had its moments. That painting definitely could have ended up in the trash or restarted in that case because it was on titanium. I would have just kind of scuffed or sanded it all off and reprimed it. But it came together because I kind of had the intestinal fortitude to hold on and push through that. Again, if things go sideways, it's just a matter of figuring out what those are. Okay, so our next painting is Air and Steel, and this is a painting of an airbrush and a razor blade, so it's kind of like a self-portrait for me. Chrome is always interesting because it has so much going on and there are so many different ways that chrome can be portrayed depending on where it is. If it's inside like this airbrush is, the reflections are very simple in a way, but if it's outside it can be very complex. This one threw me off because the overall shapes were extremely basic, and I wasn't sure that it was all going to pull together the way it should. So I started blocking it in with the darkest areas, and immediately I'm like, I'm not so sure that this is going to work. I feel like it needs more like that traditional chrome where you have those colors on top, like the sky for instance, and then the reflection of the ground on the bottom, which is what we generally think of as chrome. But I kind of stuck with it and just really painted what was there. So the next thing to go in were the white and the cream reflections. And then after that, I just started kind of working on the details. And as soon as I got to the point where the details were going in, it started to make more sense for me and started to really pull together. And this is how the painting came out in the end. it was nice because the chrome essentially was less complex as it usually is. It actually reads very, very well. So that's how that one came out. The next painting is In the Club. In the Club is a painting of a really nice old Cadillac. The painting of the Cadillac was to be put into a frame with a old worn license plate. So I had a really good plan for this whole thing, and I was really excited to get it started. The photograph that I had of the Cadillac was a black Cadillac, but the lighting made it very interesting. So as I'm breaking this down and getting ready to get it started, I hit it with blue first because that was the main color that I saw in the reflections, and it really threw me. Like, I knew this car was black, but yet almost all of it is blue, and that was a tough thing. So as I was kind of working through it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stick with it. I'm just going to kind of paint what I see and roll through it. But at this point of the painting, it just didn't feel like it was going in the right direction. I felt like I needed more black in it, so I ended up sticking with it. The other reflections that are in this were violet, and you can see those going in. And kind of still at this point, I was like, what the hell is going on here? It's not really coming together. But I stuck with it. The shadings and the details started to really kind of pull this all together, so that when I got to the end and I had done all the black in this painting, there's still a majority of it is blue, but now it reads as a black car. So that was really kind of a nice moment for me early on, that even though the thing was looking sideways, and had I shown this to the person that would ultimately own this painting, they would have said, why are you painting my car blue? You know? So it was really important to kind of just stick with the program. So that is the moral of the story. There are two ways to kind of get by this. And experience will help you as you move along with this, because you'll run into this more and more. You'll feel like your paintings are crap, but then they'll turn out okay, or they'll turn out great. And it'll help you to kind of be ready for the next time you feel like your painting is crap. It's a process. It's like delivering a wedding cake to the wedding without any frosting or decorations on it. You would never do it. It doesn't look like a wedding cake. It's not very attractive. It's the end. It's the pushing through that really makes that what it is. So first thing is trust it. Just kind of go with it. And second, know that most things are fixable. And even if you don't know how to fix them, as you're working on fixing them, you're adding to your toolbox. So you have a problem, you don't really know how to fix it, you try a bunch of things, and then you finally come out with the right thing, the right solution to fix that painting. Now you have that. So if that happens again, you have the confidence to say, okay, things are going sideways, but I know how to take care of it. So don't let it get you down. Just keep pushing through. All right, so I hope this was a good one for you, because it's something that I go through a lot. If you don't go through this, I envy you completely. That's amazing. But if you are going through it, hopefully this helps you a little bit and keeps you on track. So if you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing and clicking that bell icon. And if you really liked it and you know someone who can benefit from it too, please share it. That would be great. I appreciate you all. I love doing these Tech Tuesdays, so if you have any ideas, drop them in the comments below, and I will do my best to get to them. So thanks a lot, and I will see you all in the next one.